Recreation and Education Commission. Today's Monday, October 30th. It's 6 p.m. And I understand we are not on Zoom? So I don't know if I need the microphone, but hi, y'all. Okay, so...
You will, because they're archiving the meeting.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to call us to order and have a roll call. Go ahead, Commissioner Meyer.
Charlotte Meyer, I'm here.
Julie Elginer, present.
Anita McQuillan, present.
Brad Klein, present.
And I am Stephanie Williams, obviously present. I would like... Oh, Davis, I'm so sorry.
Davis Wiesner here.
Thank you, Davis. We really appreciate you being here during the busy time of the school year. Do I have a volunteer to lead us in the pledge?
I can do it in my sleep. I'll do it. After all, I've taught for 25 years. We did a lot. Please put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You're welcome.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve our agenda?
So moved.
Any second? All in favor?
Aye.
Our agenda is approved, and we also need to move for approval of our commission minutes from August 31st, 2023.
Yes, I also move to approve the the meeting minutes from August 31st. And I second it.
I'd like to add one thing, one correction.
Go ahead.
Just a clarification, it's not a big deal. Commissioner Meyer also communicated the seniors' desire for equipment specific to the needs and abilities of seniors. I'd like to just add the word exercise equipment. That would make it a little clearer what kind of equipment. That's the only change.
Okay, with that addition, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The amended minutes are approved. This is our time for announcements and introductions. I have a quick announcement, and then I will share the floor with my fellow commissioners. We have been lucky to have quite a few nice, big agenda items lately that had a lot of room for comment, questions, and I just wanted to make clear to everybody after our last meeting, where there was a lot of in-depth communication about what was coming before us, that we really have two things as commissioners. Our city council members who appointed us, we think they're our council members, they appointed us to ask hard questions, to streamline the process. Those of you who go to the Wednesday meetings of our council, you know they're very long. And the more that we as a commission can delve in and streamline things, ask a lot of hard questions, get answers on the record before the commission votes on it, the better. That's why we were selected. Why can't we do that ahead of time? Because of the Brown Act. We are a public meeting governed commission. The Brown Act, the Open Meetings Act, governs everything we do. So if we have questions about materials that come before us before our meeting, we really do need to save those questions and discuss them here, usually with Zoom, always with the review and being posted on the website, thank you, and for the folks who come by. So that's why some of our meetings run a little longer and will be more in-depth than others, because we do have an obligation as commissioners of the city to ask hard questions and to do it here in public. Thank you very much, and I will pass it to Commissioner Meyer.
I would just like to add, one of the benefits of having a commission is that we do ask questions. And when the staff person goes to the city council, they know some of the concerns that might be raised by the council, so they can craft their presentation using the information that we've sort of provided inadvertently by just asking the right questions, or asking questions that we think needed to be asked.
Thank you. This is the time when I would entertain any announcements about things we've seen in the community or anything else.
I just want to encourage everyone in preparation for Halloween tomorrow. Obviously, an enormous undertaking for the communities that host people, but also for our residents. We have, we are certainly known as a destination city for certain neighborhoods, so encouraging everyone to be very mindful of traffic patterns, of utilization of sidewalks, all those other kinds of things. For those children who missed out on Halloween for a couple of years, the excitement around this tomorrow night really reaches a crescendo. And so even if you are not celebrating Halloween, recognizing that for many kids whose festivities were tampered for a couple of years, it's a really big deal for them. So just being particularly mindful of our streets, our neighborhoods, our communities, particularly tomorrow, and a safe Halloween for everyone.
And speaking of enormous undertakings, I know this is a special session, but I just have to take this first opportunity. The staff of our city work for 11 months on that pumpkin festival. I am not exaggerating. It's an enormous undertaking, and they do such a wonderful job in making that event exciting, not just for Calabasas, it's also a destination event. I've worked the ticket booth, and people come from a really long way to enjoy our beautiful situation and everything that our staff does. So if you could take our thanks back, Erica, that was to you and your whole staff. It was just wonderfully done.
Good evening. I just wanted to comment. I was very lucky enough to have a tour of all the, facilities in the area that are basically under us as Park and Rec. We started even with the senior center here and got to visit that. Erica and Jeff were amazing tour guides. The senior center is incredible. It is being underused for what it really is. There's so many great programs, and people need to sign up. They need to do more to get involved there. We got to go to Calabasas swim and tennis. Huge plans to redo the deck, redo the pool. There's just like a lot of stuff that's happening in the city. So those type of things that it's just so great to see firsthand. We got to go to see the Agora Calabasas. What is the official name? Sorry. Community Center. We saw the paint job that was being finished outside. Beyond the fact that the slideshow I saw of the basketball court, there's just so much happening. It's just incredible to see. After coming from LA County before this, you don't see anything. And it's so great to see the city of Calabasas at work. So just thank you to everybody that's really behind all that stuff. And thanks to Jeff and Erica for a great tour and a lovely lunch. Really appreciate you guys.
Well, I would like to reiterate what Brad has said. Erica and Jeff gave us the most wonderful tour. It was beautiful to see the relationship of all our staff and how they work together and coordinated. I am so impressed with the amount of work that they're, it's just unbelievable. You're hearing something starting, and next thing you're going and seeing it nearly complete. So thank you to our wonderful staff and for that wonderful day. It was beautiful.
I didn't say anything. I have an announcement to make. I attended the second meeting of the foundation, and I was very, very impressed. I walked away really excited about the prospect of having a really good foundation for our city. There were two men, very well spoken, very articulate, and they saw their role as creating new programs or expanding existing ones. So that seemed to be their focus, and I'm just looking forward to seeing and hearing more about what they can accomplish for our city.
Do we have any public comment? Seeing none, I think this takes us to our first agenda item.
Thank you so much, Chair and Commissioners. So I'm here tonight in our special meeting to go over some Freedom Park playground designs. So as you all know, in February of 2022, we removed the playground equipment at Freedom Park due to safety reasons. Throughout this year, we've been working with the Braywood Homeowners Association with two objectives in mind: one, keeping that community safe, and the other, keeping the park open to the public. So throughout, we've been having those discussions with items such as an alternate entry into the park, things of that nature. In polling the community of that homeowners association, that wasn't something that they felt comfortable with. So at this point, we are moving forward with replacing the playground equipment, just so we can move forward. We're still having discussions on safety and adding additional amenities, but at this point, we just need to put in the playground equipment. So in June of 2023, City Council approved the replacement through the CIP budget. In September, we put out a request for proposal seeking designs from prospective bidders with an approved budget amount of $175,000. We received two proposals back, which you have in your packet. One was from PD Play and the other from Great Western Recreation. So in this case, the request for proposal was not based on the lowest bidder, obviously, because they were all met within our budget. So with these designs, it's up to the commission to review those and provide a recommendation, which I will be taking to City Council on November 8th. The things to keep in mind are most of these are capped out at the 175, as you can see there. So there's not a lot of option to add amenities. So really we're looking at style, color, the pour and play surfacing. That's new to the project. It has the wood fiber or sand there now. So that takes a little bit of the budget, takes a chunk out of that. So if we can look at the first PD Play option number 1. And I think Mel's going to put it on the screen for us. Yes, it is. Mel, can you go up one past this? Yes. So this is PD Plays or Play and Park Structures option 1, which comes out to $174,998.99. So as you can see, they have a design in their pour and place surfacing. We asked that it has some ADA features, so you can see they have some ramping there. Shade, the elements we requested were a slide, climbing feature, and more of a pull-up or hanging feature. So they have met all these elements. I think we have a different viewpoint of each of these that you can see. Yes. Whoops, if you want to go back, Mel. This is option 2, but let's go back to 1 so we can take a closer look at this. We also asked for natural color because that seems to be the favorite of the community, but that's something that the commission can choose to change colors if you'd like. This one seems to have, the color's a little bit distorted on this because this is a scanned version. They gave us an 11:17, which is in your packet here, so you could see a little bit better what this color scheme is. Has some blues, aquas, tans, and browns. So not necessarily your typical natural color scheme. Does anyone have any questions on this option before we move forward?
I would just like to, looking at it from my background, I can see where there's upper body strength with the rings.
Mm-hmm.
I can see climbing, which is very good for their legs, muscles in their legs. But I can't see, I don't know what this is over here on the far left.
That's one of those where you stand in and it
Oh,
swirls around.
That's excellent for
Mhm,
children.
yes.
It gets the spinal fluid moving.
Oh,
Vestibular stimulation.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah, so that's a very important feature. So just to keep in mind, and it looks like, is this a slide in the middle?
Yes, it's
Okay, so
yes.
That's vestibular stimulation as well. That's why children like it so much. They like
And
to-
adults.
and they'd also like to be turned upside down and swirl and get all that spinal fluid moving.
Yes.
So this has a lot of good qualities. That's how I look at a playground. So let's go on to, you want to go to the next one?
Yes. Is there any other questions on one before we move forward, commissioners? No? Okay. So this is option 2. This option is $174,998.62. Again, we see a design in the pour and place surfacing. It's a little bit of an abstract feature with the shade structure. Again, we're keeping with the natural color scheme. Mel, can you go to the next? Yeah, this side of it. There's a little bit of ramping here. It has the slide. It's a little bit of a smaller scale. And then over there, I believe that's the kind of a, what do you call that? No, not tetherball. It's like a,
Oh, you stand on it?
yes, that
You stand like a jumping jack.
pogo stick. There you
Pogo
go.
stick.
There you go. I had it this morning. I
Oh.
was talking to Kindon about it. And I was
Okay.
like, pogo stick. Yeah, so it's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't, maybe, well, is there something hanging from over here? No, at the top. There's
No.
a pole coming down. No. I don't know what this brown thing is on the, that's touching.
That's a climbing.
It's a short one, though, yeah. And then on this side, it's got a great slide. Oh, my God, those kids would go crazy with that slide. I would, I could just see.
Director
I could-
Green, can I
Yeah.
ask a question, just
Sure.
to back up a minute?
Sure.
So we haven't reached an agreement as to who would be able to access this?
No, we have. It's a public park. It's open to the public.
What have we not reached an agreement about?
So the concern with the HOA is the safety that the public is going into a gated community. So we were trying to work with the HOA to either come up with an alternate entrance into the park, gate it at some point. So maybe they were coming in off Mulholland, but that didn't seem to go. That wasn't a preferred option. So right now we're just we're keeping status quo what we have right now. So it'll be open to the public, and then we're replacing the playground equipment.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Sure.
Thank you for asking that question. I have a follow-up question. I noticed that with all 4 of the designs, it seems as though the first design takes up the most physical space in structure versus open space.
Sure.
Is there an intent to have a larger footprint with the playground equipment, or to leave some open space with that soft play surface?
There is not that intent to leave. No, it's just all about our aesthetic and appeal that we would like. If there's going to be any amenities added to the park feature, it will not be on this pour and place surfacing.
Okay,
This will be strictly the playground.
Good.
thank you for clarifying.
Guys, this is all poured rubber.
Correct.
Now, are we taking account of the problems we had at Brandon's Park? You know,
No, the problem at Brandon's was the substrate underneath the pour and place surfacing was DG, and with a lot of water runoff deteriorated that, which made the pour and place surfacing sink. This will not have that
it
issue.
shouldn't have that
Yeah.
issue. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
This has concrete, is that what it is? I think
It's yes. There's sand above concrete.
standing,
Yes.
a base and good.
Yep.
I went back to the master plan, written almost 20 years ago. I haven't been in the park in probably that long. But in the master plan, it said this park is 1.7 acres. So regarding the question that you asked, I don't know for sure, but it was in the master plan, because I looked it up. 1.7 acres.
It is 1.7 acres.
Oh, it is 1.7 acres.
Mhm.
So, just to let you know, there might be areas around it, because this doesn't look like 1.7 acres. the
No, so
topography, any
there,
of these. Yeah.
right. The topography there has a little bit of some hills, so there's some
Oh, my goodness.
benches, there's trees, there's open space. It's not, this is basically the flat area of the
Okay,
park.
So there is,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
That's what I was questioning, because I couldn't remember. Okay, I would, okay, you're facilitating the meeting, go.
I have one additional question.
Sure.
Have we worked with both of these vendors previously?
We have not.
Okay, so it's not as if we've got an established relationship or anything with either one?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I'll follow up on that to say, has anyone on our staff worked with them in a different, like, do we have any sort of good?
We know of them. These are pretty common manufacturers in the industry. It's just not, they haven't done City Calabasas playgrounds.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so is everyone okay to move on to the next vendor? Okay, so Great Western Recreation. So on the screen is option 1. So you can see they have some platforms as well. Their pour and play surfacing is more plain, pretty much how it is. I think this is similar to Grape Arbor. There's no design in that. But again, we get a little bit larger of a playground structure. Any questions on this one?
Well, I'm trying to just figure out how the child's, I see a slide. I see some climbing, but not a lot of climbing. And I see a place where the kids can run around, looking down at their friends and yelling to their mothers. But I don't really see the kind of variety that would enhance a child's, they could, when they go, the first year they can do this and this. The second year I can do more. The second year they can have that feeling of developing their skills. But I might be off. Maybe I don't see everything.
I think this one here, so this line underneath the platform, that's kind of a monkey bar. So that's the upper body strength there. There's climbing.
It's kind of a short experience.
Yeah.
What was that first one? That was a different one.
This is a different company.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes. The last two were PD Play, and this one's Great Western Recreation.
Okay. Erica, what age group is this?
These are all 5 to
towards?
12.
5 to 12.
Yes.
So how high are, going back to the first one, how high are the handlebars on that? And
How high are they?
Yes. Sorry to go back to the first one,
Let's see.
but that seems to be the only one that has handlebars that would give the arm strength.
Or body strength.
Trying to find it on. It's the platform is about 8 feet high.
That's good.
Yeah, I'd have to get back to you, Anita, on how.
Is
high
there any option to do the different colors on the flooring there, like on the surface? Or is this what's being offered?
I think if we put design into the pour and play surfacing, we're going to have to remove something from the play structure. The pour and play surfacing is quite expensive, so I think what they tried to do was put more of the funding into the play structure itself. So if we added design here, I think we would remove some elements of the play structure.
Okay.
So we'll go to option 2 with Great Western. So this one is a smaller structure, but they put this trending rope climber, which is a favorite of the kids nowadays. Well, probably all of and it spins around. So they tried to do a little something different and give another element here. Mel, can you go one more to see if, we could see it from the different view. So here, they have the shorter slide, which might incorporate younger youth if we wanted to do that. And then they have the higher slide over there. They have a climber here. And then they have the more traditional shade structure. I think this is the least expensive of the choices. This one's $169,967.
Erica,
Mm-hmm.
if they wanted to, at some time, add something, because there might be some open space here, would it be something that you could do, like remodeling a house? You add something to a room, or does it have to be built when the big structure is in?
Well, the thing with pour and place servicing is they'd have to cut it out to put a foundation in, a footing
got
of
it.
some sort.
I got
Yeah,
it.
so
Okay,
we'd
right.
probably
So
have to
this
do
is a
it now.
one-time deal.
Yeah, unless it was
Okay.
a freestanding item, you know, a smaller amenity, but if it was a structure itself, they'd have
I
to.
was thinking of a balance beam, a long, low to the ground. We have one at De Anza.
Yes,
kids seem to like it.
yeah, we do.
So I was just thinking about adding that, but, you know.
And we asked them to maximize the funding, so as you can see, they got within 50 cents.
Okay.
So they really put everything they could and tried to give us as much design as
Yeah.
possible.
Quick question.
Uh-huh.
For option one, going back a little, do we have the availability to change any of the coloring of the surfaces at all? Like, is that something have to sit with that?
We do. We do have the ability to change colors. In the proposal, we asked for, like I said, a natural look, because that just seems to be, from our surveying of the community, what people prefer. But that doesn't mean if the commission wanted to change it more to a different neutral, they could. I think their color scheme, so they sent us some colors, like this. So they have blues, I don't know, that might be cool hues, good-natured, and, yeah, cheerful might be a bit much.
That's more Disneyland.
Yeah, I would say we'd need to stick in more of the natural family.
Okay.
But it is an option if the commission were to want to do that.
And I noticed that all four of them and the design have at least a space dedicated for access for, is it handicap access? I'm not really familiar.
Mhm.
Is there one portion of the design that's particularly more appealing from the standpoint of being inclusive from that aspect?
I would say, since they are, I would say since there aren't, we'd have to look at things that are closer to ground level. With the sand, it's really difficult to bring any mobility device onto the playground. So if they can easily move about. So if we had lower activity panels, things like that would probably be the most ADA accessible, if you will, more inclusive.
You know, one of the things that you can add is sometimes not exactly in it, but on the perimeter of this is just cement where the kids could take, if they're in wheelchairs, they could just go around the playground. In other words, the mother has to take two children. One can be here and one can just have the option of doing that. Or the kids can take rollerblades or skateboards or whatever it is that they want to do. There's cement there. It's a bicycle path. Or a tricycle path, or a whatever. That's another way to make it inclusive. That's down the road, but you don't have to rip anything apart. It's on the perimeter. Sure. I know now.
May I also ask, I noticed that the PD Play option 1 was the only one that has an enclosed slide. Is that feature particularly difficult to maintain? Is there anything around that particular feature that's either beneficial or challenging?
No, it's going to be the same maintenance level as an open slide. I think it would just be preference on the youth's preference on if they'd rather be in an enclosed slide or open.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no difference in the cost of maintaining that.
And then for the knowing that we might be able to, okay, let me start with a sentence. I'm particularly troubled by what looks pretty shockingly not nature color in this blue liney thing. And there's an awful lot of moving parts here, which is great the first year. But I can picture this tire going pretty quickly, these little blocks of wood coming off. The PD Play 1 looks maybe not as resilient as in both in the color itself and the way that color would fade compared to the Great Western. I know it's all one color, but there's some goodness in that. It all fades the same way. And then it's all the same different faded color. And this shade looks really nice, for example, in option 2 of Great Western.
Sure.
It looks easier to maintain. Maybe the rope, I know the ropes have to be, they have a life of that twirly thing, but that's not a terrible thing to have to replace. So is there any assessment of overall difference in maintaining and how many years? I couldn't see how many years each one was warranted for.
Most of these are going to have a span of about 15 years, and then they're going to need to be replaced. Maintenance, yes, the more detailed it is and the more moving parts it has, is going to be more expensive for us to maintain, for sure. Yes.
But it's not a lot of maintenance, just to get a rope, repair it, and to get the wood. I mean, there's always going to be maintenance on these things, I think. They don't make them like they used to. They really used to make them. They last forever.
Go ahead, Brad.
Is there any opportunity to see these brands like nearby? Do we like ask these companies if there's, like, obviously we're not going to find like
This might
option 1 but just to see like any of this equipment anywhere nearby that you could just visit, just in regards to the quality. I'm sure they're pretty competitive
Right,
as far as that goes, but that is a big thing.
They are. They all have to meet the federal standards of the fall ASTM. So there, and
Just
that was all
beyond.
written in the proposal. So they all have to meet those requirements. So I don't think there's going to be, for lack of a better word, a cheaply made playground
Right.
equipment. We could probably get you a website, and maybe you could see if they're check them out at things that they've done already. We are just pressed for time. If I have to have the staff report, I'm going to actually go back and
Right.
write it after this tonight. So if there's any comments, we can make some slight adjustments, but in general, we should have a recommendation so we can get this in for the community as soon as we can.
Well, I love option 1.
The PD Play.
What's it called?
PD Play.
PD Play option 1.
I love the color. I think it's so stimulating. It offers movement. You twisting these low little stools. The kids can twist them. There's so much climbing. The basic structure seems to be very firm to me. It's metal and wood. There are pieces that may go, but none of the others offer the range of activities that I see here. The hand movement, the twisting around.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely the most detailed and
And I love the
inclusive.
colour. I love bright, and children love bright colours too. So
I actually want to agree with that statement. I think a big thing in making sure that kids will be able to go back is that they can try something new every time. And I remember, at least from when I was a little kid playing at play structures at my school, one big thing was upper arm strength. And okay, I'm in first grade, I'm not tall enough to reach the monkey bars yet, but I still have other options. And then as you continue to get older, I think in PD Play 1, it offers a lot of new options that older kids and younger kids can both enjoy.
Sure.
And I think when looking at like Great Western, the coloring, obviously it's a lot more natural, but I think it juxtaposes way too much compared to like, it's like pine colored, and we live in Southern California and we're always in a drought. that grass will never look that green as in that photo. So I think it'll just stand out way too much.
Good points.
I agree too. I really like PD option 1. Love the colors. I also, the main thing I remember from watching my kids, like the number one activity is tag. Running around that thing and getting up and down and going on the bridges and jumping off the sides. And there's a lot more just total surface area to like get around and come on and off of this. This one looks great.
So Director Green, are you looking for us to rank or just give our top, or?
Just the top. We're going to recommend 1 to City Council.
So do we have a motion, it sounds like?
I move that we take a vote on our preferred options of the 4 that have been presented.
Do you
So moved.
propose? Do you propose one in particular?
Oh, me? I kind of am inclined to support what has already been identified as their top priority. And one of the things about this slide is we live in a very hot place. And when children go down a slide, sometimes they don't like it because it's too hot. But this one was going to be in the shade most of the time, so it might be a little more comfortable. I still would love to add something on the perimeter to be inclusive for the other children if there's ever. I've seen you go and ask for more money. And I would love to see that because it's so important to the bicycles, the tricycles, all of the other physical activities. It just rounds it off so nicely. Because I don't know if there's any, I haven't been in there. I don't know what's there. So I don't know. Maybe they already have enough cement there. I don't know.
They don't have cement. It's a DG path. It's more of a passive park. Really, the only area to have any equipment is this
Okay.
area here.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm leaning towards this one.
By leaning towards, are you saying your vote is for PD Play 1?
That's
Or do you
what
wanna
said,
chat
you
more?
wanted? No. Oh, I would like to hear what everybody else is saying, but I'm leaning towards this one.
My motion was for us to select an option and was seconded. So
Okay, all in favor of selecting now?
Aye.
I'm ready to select.
I think I am the odd man out, also ready to select the one that no one else wants, so.
Which one do you like?
I like the Great Western option 2. I like that swirly thing. I like the tic-tac-toe. I like that there's little things and tall things and climbing, more shade, an open slide that you can't get stuck in, and lots of things. I was actually looking at the places you would jump off and play tag as well.
Definitely number 2.
But I certainly can also test that my vote's going to lose. Let's go down.
I'd like to vote for number 1, PD option number 1.
PD option number 1.
Commissioner Eldner.
I am also voting for PD option 1.
Commissioner Meyer.
Okay. Oh, me now. I just want to make sure, this thing over here, is that a climbing wall?
Yes.
God, it's straight vertical. It's in like a 90-degree angle. Not even, it's 90 degrees, it looks like.
It's a rock wall.
It's instead of like a ladder,
Right.
they kind of just use that.
Use that.
Oh, to get up
yes.
to that.
Correct.
Oh, whoa, I love that. Okay, I agree. Okay, I support this particular one, this number 1.
And I don't dislike it, I just like the other one better. So you can certainly tell the city council that 4-1, 4.5-1, we like
Is
PD.
Davis going to vote?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Davis, please.
I didn't know if I had a vote, to be honest.
You have a provisional vote or something like that, which we count as a vote.
I don't think my vote counts. I'd put PD Play 1.
PD 1 also.
Okay.
Thank you,
That was
sorry.
good. That was more interesting.
So we're all pretty much like PD1. One person likes the plain color.
May again, I really want to commend our staff for selecting 4 different options or securing bids for 4 different options, given the funding limitations. So to everyone that worked on this, Erica, if I'm not sure if it's only you or your team, thank you for your work, because I am sure undoubtedly it was, to get it to this point where we have 4 options to choose from was, not an easy thing. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. Where are we now?
We're on the continued business.
So our next item, I'm going to move to student report.
Okay, so am I allowed to start? So it's been a couple months since I had the chance to kind of give an update on what I've been hearing, and honestly, there hasn't been too much to report on. I do know I have multiple people that I'm aware of who, I have one friend who actually helps out at the senior center now and then, so she commented on how she liked the decorations there. But I noticed that I haven't had any friends comment on public events they've been going to, except for Halloween. I know a couple are going to the pumpkin patch, I think. But besides that, I've just been unaware and haven't been hearing too much activity going on. I think the summer was kind of the main event for music in the park and all that stuff. I think that was the main focus. But yeah.
Well, thank you for taking time to ask your friends and investigate for us. We appreciate it. Our next item is the Arts Council.
I'll report on that. So I met with Commissioner Ghaffari earlier today. She couldn't be here. She wasn't feeling well. So we spoke about doing a community art show and maybe doing that in conjunction with the foundation. We're trying to do a fundraiser with the foundation, so maybe combining those efforts and resources to do that. So we're going to delve a little deeper into that and get with the foundation and see their thoughts. But we really want to get something going and maybe do that in the spring at the community center, kind of showcase that. So that was something we discussed. So that's her report.
May I ask just a follow-up question?
Sure.
And you mentioned the timing, and I'm wondering if in the spring, the arts festival or the event that used to be here in May, what was that called?
It was the Fine Arts Festival.
The Fine Arts Festival. Maybe something like this could replace that timing in the May timeframe.
Sure.
Since for longtime residents, we kind of have that as an anchor point of having some sort of arts-based event in that May timeframe.
Sure. And she actually discussed that time
Okay.
frame as well. So perfect. Thank you for that.
And then the senior center report.
Oh, I've got a long report. Okay. The current catalog has very few programs that are still open, but I did pick a few just to share with you because I thought they were really good. The first one is we have 2 discussion classes called Hot Topics, and one starts on Wednesday, November 1st, or the other class starts on Thursday, November 2nd. This is a chance for people to come in and really share their ideas about some of the hot topics that are going on in the world. So it's a really, I think this is going to be a really good discussions going on, very stimulating. And if you haven't signed up, these are they're on Wednesdays and on Thursdays. There are 2 fantastic special events. Each one is a one-day event. The first one is called the Holiday Classic Concert. And that's on Thursday afternoons, November 30th. And there's a singer, his name is Steve Oliver, and his songs will include musical songs from the Pack Rat era, before you were born, rock and roll, and holiday classics. Let's see. And this is a concert I think people will really enjoy attending. The other one is a discussion, or more of a lecture, another single one-day event called Shakespeare in a Different Light. So if you've ever read Shakespeare, maybe 1 or 2 plays or something like that, this event will connect Shakespeare, his quotes, some poems, some monologues, through discussions, and find how relevant they are to today. Because he is a timeless author, and so this is what the class is for. One of our most successful interest clubs is Caring Calabasas. It is the brainchild of Carol Davis and has many volunteers, and we participate. We get together on philanthropic projects. Recently, Caring Calabasas partnered with Caruso Cares Charitable Foundation. That's the Rick Caruso who owns the Commons. And working together, they made over 60 stuffed bears that were sent to the children of deployed soldiers. Also, volunteers wrote handwritten cards of appreciation, and this is the second time this event was held. All you have to do is just go there, and you'll have a great time. I promise, it's great, and it's so gratifying to stuff the bears and knowing where they're going. We've also had, during this month, October, we have a knitting day. We had a knitting day. They knitted 3 hats, 13 scarves, 43 letters were sent personally written to our servicemen who are serving abroad, 148 lanyards, and 98 cool ties. Cool ties are these things that they put on their belt, and they can take them off and use them for all like a rope, but they're really tight, and then you pull them off. So we've had a really successful October, but coming up in November, this group volunteers, and we don't always have the same people come every time. Some people want to come to this event, some people want to come to that event. So coming up, we have a knitting day coming up November 6th, and these knitted hats go to newborn babies. We're going to have a paracord day November 9th, and they're used by the military. On November 28th, we will have a fleece blanket day. This is a very important, it touches my heart, actually. We have foster children who are picked up sometimes in the middle of the night, nationwide. And we get this fleece, we buy it, and the edges are cut, and all we have to do is make knots all the way around. And they are sent all over the country. There is an organization home-based in Westlake. It's a national organization called Operation Gratitude. So we partner with them and give them all that we make, these fleece blankets and other things, these letters that we send to the military. So it's very gratifying to be involved in this program. So now I'm going to just tell you, a new catalog is coming out. So it's going to be coming out in mid or late November. It will include classes to be held in January, February, March, April, and May. And if you are a senior center member, you can sign up December 1st. If you're a resident, December 6th, and non-residents, December 11th. So we do that so that if somebody who is a resident and a member, they can have first crack at signing up and not be shut out because it signed up so quickly. And that used to happen a lot with our excursions. So as you can see, the Senior Center, Calabasas Senior Center, offers something for everyone. And I hope you will come and visit it, take a tour, and pick up a new brochure. I'm done.
Thank you, Commissioner Meyer. Any questions? Then our next item, I will turn it over to Director Green for the Pumpkin Festival and Park projects.
Thank you. So I want to reiterate a lot of the wonderful comments made about the Pumpkin Festival, and the team did an amazing job. And not only our community services team, that really takes a team of the entire city. So on Saturday we set up, we had public works folks, we had finance folks, we had planning folks out there just helping us set up. And it's a great time for us to have camaraderie and get out of the office. So it's just been great. And then the actual day of, everyone worked so seamlessly. The event went well. There were no hiccups. So I just want to thank the community for coming out and supporting us, you all for supporting us, and then the team who did such an amazing job. So I just wanted to reiterate that. And a team member over here, so I want to thank Jeff, who's my right-hand guy who helps me more than I could say. So thank you to the team for that.
Erica, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Do we have attendance figures?
Yes, we get roughly 6,000 people. Okay. Yeah, but that doesn't include all the exhibitors, vendors, staff. So that's about the average.
Great, thanks.
Do they produce, because this is the chamber, I think, right? Isn't this it? Is this the chamber? How does that work with the chamber and the city?
It's it's a city event.
Oh,
Yes. So it's a city event. The chamber's a partner in the fact that they did the beer garden this year. So they use it as a fundraiser, yes, for certain elements of the festival, but it is a city ran and resourced event. Yes. Okay, so if I can give a park projects update, the community center, the roof is complete, the painting is complete, the flooring is almost complete, so we're excited about that. I presented at City Council last week or the week before, the weeks are flying by, to allocate some of our operational funding to complete some tasks and projects that we couldn't get done through the federal earmark grant. So we will be getting new equipment, supplies, and state-of-the-art AV and security systems. So our team is working diligently on that and recruiting for staff for that facility. So if anyone out there needs a part-time job, please apply at thecityofcalabasas.com.
What do you mean by state-of-the-art AV?
So audio-visual. So that means like our TV. So we're going to have LED screens. We're going to have state-of-the-art sound system, cameras, security, things like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
May I ask a follow-up
Sure.
question to that? That might be particularly appealing for any groups or nonprofits that want to be able to host meetings
Absolutely.
in there.
Yes.
Do you know, will that be the same reservation process as for Founders Hall or for the senior center, some of our other facilities, and or will it be the same amount of money?
It will not be the same amount
Okay.
of money. We are actually going to go to council on November 8th to approve the fee schedule.
Perfect.
So there'll be rental packages. For instance, if you wanted the ballroom, depending on if you're a private commercial entity, you would get a package which would include the day's worth of rental, the AV.
Okay.
So we have that. Once that's approved, we will start marketing that and getting rentals. We want to start getting rentals and memberships in as soon as we can before we open the doors. So that's our plan.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Will the seniors
yes.
be programming, helping with the programming like we have for for the senior center? Will we be helping with the programming, or is that something that you guys are going to take care of?
Sort of. We are going to try and put some of your high performing classes. See
Oh,
if
okay.
we can add those to the community center. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we've been working with Kim, and obviously she works with your programming committee.
Okay, I
So
wasn't aware of that.
yes.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. We're going to have some mahjong tables.
Make sure you order the right size.
Kim has notified us of size and chairs. We're on it,
With
sure.
arms that we can
Yes,
push up.
yes. She's given us the rundown.
Okay.
With Wild Walnut Park, we have our pre-construction meeting next week, or actually, November 2nd is this week, so Thursday. We are looking at a tentative groundbreaking. We're trying to confirm with City Council on a date for that, but that should be in the next couple of weeks, so we will get that out to you as soon as we know that information. And then from there, we hope to get started on construction. So we're excited about that. Freedom Park, as you know, we just went through the playground process. We're also going to go to bid to add an ADA ramp component for entry into the park. Right now, like I mentioned before, it has steps like railroad ties, so we're going to put an ADA ramp into that entry. So that should be going to bid in the next couple of weeks. Deanza Park, we are redoing the sport court. We have the dasher boards on order, so that should be coming in, and that construction should probably be taking place at the end of this month, maybe early next month, and hopefully we'll have that completed by the end of the year, or early in the new year. So I think that's about it. Tennis and swim center pool. That project will start on Wednesday, so we're draining the pool on Wednesday. We'll get started on the pool deck and replastering, and that'll be closed through February. So, and I think that ends my report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I was just going to comment quickly that it's probably been 25 years since we've had so many activities and going on simultaneously in almost every single one of our major parks. So enormous kudos to our staff for managing those projects, simultaneously, because I have lived here for almost 19 years, and I can never remember this much activity in all of our facilities, or darn near all of our facilities at the same time. So,
Yeah.
just a comment on.
Yeah, I've lived here 26 and a half years.
Oh, I went.
And I was thinking the same thing. It's so refreshing to be able to actually do something. So I just applaud you for bringing that new spirit in and for making it happen. So it's wonderful to see for our new set of park users and for the existing park users who've seen the exact same things for 26 years.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I agree with what Julie and Stephanie have said. I mean, the pace at which things are moving. We went visiting each place, and something is happening everywhere. It's and the way the staff work together, it's just amazing. So thank you so much, Erica and staff.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's definitely like almost a family feeling too that I felt on the tour that was really cool. Like when we went into De Anza, and everybody that worked there, it was just Calabasas Swim and Tennis. It's just like everybody was really close, and they were into doing what they were doing. They were excited about the progress. One thing I wanted to comment that I think is incredible is like the tennis courts are being resurfaced in-house. Jeff and his team, he's trained these guys how to resurface tennis courts, which is incredible savings, right? That's huge money that they actually do it with the guys there. That's such a specialty thing that contractors charge a lot of money for, and these guys are doing it there. So I thought that was incredible to hear about, and so there's just so much happening.
And they look beautiful, the tennis courts.
Yeah, they're
look
well
amazing.
done.
Yes, at a fraction of the cost. Yes.
How many courts has he?
I think he's done 5. Yeah,
5.
yes.
Are you resurfacing the ones that are going to be dedicated in the future for pickleball, or is this just regular tennis?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I've been here for 30 years, and this is probably more work than has been done in the last 10. This was just, I can't believe how much you've taken on, and you seem to be okay.
We're excited about having, if we look a year out, we'll have a brand new park system, and that's exciting, and the team's excited about it, and it's a lot of hard work, but we enjoy it. That's why we're what we do. So thank you for recognizing that. We appreciate it.
Any future agenda items? Are there any dog items for future agenda?
Yes.
We are all
Bring your
looking
dog.
forward to that very much. We are looking forward to an event, the Wild Walnut groundbreaking. I wrote soon on my paper.
Yes, we will definitely get you that exact date by the end of this week. We have to move quickly.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so if there are no future agenda item requests, is there anything else for the good of the order?
I do want to mention we're going to have a special meeting in December. I know this says adjourned to January 8th. This is our normal meeting, but we're going to have a special meeting in December. I'm thinking December 12th for our programming needs assessment final report from Pros Consulting. So we want to get that in. He's going to present to City Council January 10th, so we want to get your input before he does that. So please be on the lookout for that. Mel will get that out to you as soon as possible.
Okay, anything else? Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
will